Hi there! Did you ever wonder how you can decontract a lemon or any kind of spherical fruit in Blender? Well, this is the tutorial for you. To clarify, this is an extension of Sanctus's procedural lemon tutorial that can be found through this link. I highly recommend it as I used this tutorial to produce the skin of the lemon here. When I used this video last year, he mentions in the video that one day he might do a tutorial for the inside, but I don't see any video. Sanctus, it's been a year. Tutorial when? Jokes aside, here's a solution I came up with after watching this video. Hopefully you find it useful. We start off with creating the basic peeling animation. There are many ways to do this as always, but here's the easy version I used with minimal geometry nodes and roll. Alright, now that we have our base geometry ready and our animation is also ready, we can move on to creating our texture. I will be skipping the texturing part for the lemon skin. Make sure you watch Sanctus's original tutorial for that. So as you can see, the animation's here. I added a bevel node and gave it 2 subdivision levels. So these are all the textures from the tutorial, and I only added one thing. So because of Blender 4.0, the principal BSDF node changed a bit. So I essentially made it easier to give a subsurface color. So instead of the radius, I added a RGB node with a color values such as this. Just makes it easier, I think, to pick a color instead of just playing with the numbers here. So basically looks like the lemon is getting sliced, but there's nothing in here. So what we want to do is add the attribute color to mask add-on. It's going to give us our mask. So let's keep this handy for now and duplicate this principal BSDF node. Essentially, we want to start with a gradient node texture. So we want to press Control T, make it an object node, radial. And this is what we're going to use to define the lemon's features. So if you want to add a matte node here, change it to floored modulo. We're getting somewhere. Make this value 0.125. What we want to do now is, first off, I want to get a map range node. Add this map range over here. It's a bit. So let's say lower this down to somewhere around here, and invert this color. We're essentially going to go and multiply these two. We can set this to 3. So in a way, we have a smoother, equal transition between. If you compare to this, just have smoother shades around our object right now. So essentially what we want to do is get a wave texture here. It's going to be rings on the z-axis. I'm going to set it to a value that forms the shape around what will distinguish the juicy part and the outer layer. Then we're going to put a gradient here. Oh, my bad. We'll put a color ramp here. Really single this out. Just pinch it right all the way to the edge. Mix these two nodes. Which gives us the lemon shape that we're actually looking for. We want to add a map range node around here. Essentially, we're going to crank our max up a bit over this value. Around here should be fine. So you can obviously play around with all of these values to see what will fit better, but yeah. So now we're gonna put this mix node here into the factor and color this piece out. Yeah, that gives us our basic lemon shape with colors. So let's go ahead and duplicate a principal node here and plug this in. As you can see, it gives us a very basic lemon shape. So we got a good thing going on here right now. Essentially, the way to blend between these two colors is through mixing these two shaders. We're going to use our mask here to be the factor for that. So yeah, but it's inverted, so we're just going to go here and invert the color. And there we go. That essentially gives us the basic look for it. But you see that inside of the lemon is not scaling up with the slicing. So the way we can achieve that is by going here. So it's essentially the scale of this wave texture, which pretty much determines how this will work. And the way I achieve this is by getting a map range node. Actually, not a map range node, but got a mix node using a float. Essentially, I plug this in here. One option would be to put the value that was here around the midway. Then its maximum, let's make it very small. So we can keyframe this factor here. And then width to about here, where it just goes to the middle, keyframe it again at the end of the motion, which is going to be roughly here. You can put it to 0 again. So you can see it just does not align properly. And we can just play around with these Bezier sliders to see what will better align. smaller so we can see this shape better. So yeah, essentially what we want to do is drag these all the way out here. And it gives us the effect we want. See it better. Let's look in the live mode, and yeah, that's essentially how you get this look. I duplicated the displacement maps from the previous tutorial and put it here essentially, where I got the masks combined coming from inside the lemon, and then edit them. Change the node setup a bit, so it's essentially like this if you want to pause your video and look at the settings, but essentially I got the values going in to logarithm and multiply, and I put a color ramp and played around with it just a bit, flipped it, and instead of black I used a grayish color to make the contrast less prominent. We got a shape like this. I put it under displacement, so the value is looking like this. What I want to do is combine this displacement and then the other one using a mix node, and you're gonna go and get the mask, put it on the factor. It's gonna give you what displacement you need to slightly displace the inside of the lemon, and then go ahead and add more detail into this lemon. It's, you can do whatever you want with it. Play around, maybe increase the amount of divisions inside it. I don't know. Yeah, here's how you slice a fruit in Blender.